Did I just get remembered by Jason Momoa?
Girl, Lisa Bonet is shaking.
Hi, this is Tranquil Ashes, and you're watching AGN.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. I know you go by Tranquil Ashes. I'm going to refer to you as Tranquil for this interview. But tell me a little bit about yourself and what kind of made you interested in pursuing cosplay as a career or a platform. How did you discover cosplaying? Like, what got you into it?
Well, let's see. Um, it's interesting because I've always been into, anime and nerd culture for pretty much as long as I've cared to remember things. But initially I was living in Japan at the time, and I was like asked to do some makeup, and I wasn't a makeup artist at this point or anything. It was just I had fun doing it when I was going out to parties and stuff like that. So I got invited on to do makeup, and then I got invited to be in the play as like the main villain. And I had to sing in Japanese and act, and it was all cool. It was really, really fun. And then when I got back to the States, I saw Yaya Han's Game of Thrones
Mhm.
cosplay. And for some reason, it was like, I should have been doing this my whole life. And so I just started from there. And it's just been growing and growing to this large passion that I really want to spend a lot of time on.
So, are you bilingual? I know you mentioned that you lived in Japan for a hot minute. So, are you bilingual in both Japanese and English as well?
I am
Or
definitely, I will not claim bilingual, but if you drop me into Japan, I could definitely survive
oh, you pick it up a little bit piece by
piece
piece.
by piece. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I love that. I could never.
I
I'm trying to learn, but I always sound like watashi wa Christopher desu ka? And it's just very like it's weird. It's weird. But yes, I love that. That's so amazing. So you basically got into it by immersing yourself in nerd culture and living in Japan.
Mhm.
So do you count that as like your first cosplay, or what was your first cosplay to you?
Uh, let's see. I would definitely say my first, like what I would say my first real like signature cosplay would have been Poison Ivy, and that was after I came
Mm.
back to the States. I've been a con goer for way longer than I've been a cosplayer. So I would definitely go to cons and, just have your typical fun, buy out the dealer's room, go to panels and take pictures of other people.
Mhm.
But once I got back to the States, I was like, okay, well, let's switch gears a little bit. I want to go to cons for that and for cosplay and artistry and things like that. So I would say Poison Ivy is my first cosplay, and probably Rose Quartz is like when I decided to become serious.
Okay. Well, Poison Ivy, you still turned out looks.
Yeah,
Like
thank
that was hot. Like
you.
chef's kiss. I absolutely love
Uh,
that. So, for those of you who don't know Tranquil Ashes, Tranquil has actually dabbled in pretty much everything from anime, gaming, and general entertainment cosplays. So, Tranquil, do you ever see yourself favoring one over the other, like more anime cosplays or more gaming cosplays?
I wouldn't say I would necessarily like one over the other.
Hmm.
I will say that I've definitely done more like comic and video game
Hmm.
cosplays over anime cosplays. I'm not so much because I don't want to, it just seems to have happened that way.
Hmm.
And I also tend to like identify and cosplay villains a lot. So they're really epic villains from like comics and video games. So I've just kind of gone down that path, but I'm definitely have anime ones in the works.
Well, I've definitely seen you churn out some looks with like Domino. You did that one. That was impeccable, by the way.
Oh,
Were you inspired by like the original Domino comic, or was it like kind of like when Deadpool 2 came out and they had that whole like casting decision, or were
it
you
was
just like
definitely the casting decision. I knew
Mhm,
about Domino before, like the
mhm,
Deadpool movie, but she wasn't like anyone that like stuck out out of all the characters that you can, find in those
Mhm.
comics. But once it came into the Deadpool movie, I was like, oh, okay. I really dig the look. I really dig this version of Domino's attitude and
Yes.
everything. So that's basically what inspired me to do it. And I like had everything in my closet already somehow. Like so I was like, wait a minute, do I have a cosplay here? Yes. And I just ended up doing Domino.
That's awesome. So, I know there are bound to be some haters in the cosplay community since you're not only a black cosplayer, but you're also a plus size cosplayer. So, can you tell me about an experience or like an encounter where you've had your cosplay actually inspire or make you feel empowered?
Mm,
Was there like a specific one that comes to mind?
let's see. I would honestly, rose quartz makes me feel great. Every time I wear my armor, I feel great. I was such a huge fan of the Steven Universe show, and like rose quartz specifically, like, you know, post getting over being problematic, but like rose quartz specifically, that version of her, I just loved everything about her. And she had such like a commanding presence while being very like soft and caring and loving. And I was like, this is like who I would like inspire to be,
Mhm.
and she's also a really, tall gem. She's a plus size gem. So it kind of just checked off all of my boxes. So whenever I wear it, I feel great.
Okay. Well, can you elaborate on like some interactions you may have had that have either inspired you to or kind of like stepped up your game to rise above the haters or inspire some of your fans and followers or others who may kind of like see your cosplay at a convention?
Hmm. I will say that like after I did do the rose quartz armor, people were looking for more armor from me.
Really?
Yeah. So I was like, okay, so this armor thing is a real thing. Let's see what we can do. And I definitely think because it was taken so well
Mhm.
that I, pursued doing other armor. I've done Kotal Khan from the Mortal Kombat games, and I did a Kajinka from Pokemon Snorlax, who is my favorite Pokemon. And so like people look to me now for, armor builds. And that definitely inspires me because armor isn't easy at all. And it takes so much time to make.
Right.
So I think the people's enjoyment of it and the fact that I kind of put my own spin on most of my cosplays, people definitely encourage me to, push harder and do bigger things for
Okay,
sure.
cool. I mean, I've seen some of the armor work and it looks intense. So, are you one of those cosplayers that kind of like makes everything from scratch, or do you kind of like piece together certain things? Can you kind of elaborate on your process?
Well, I would say I'm at an 85% make
Mhm.
everything myself kind of cosplayer. And even recently, though, I've been kind of like laxing on that and being like, well, I can save some energy and maybe some money
Yeah.
if I go
Just
and
thrift it, put it together, it's fine.
yeah.
Whatever, it works. It looks cute.
Yeah, it still looks good, and it's all great either way. However you do your cosplay is
Mhm.
perfect. But definitely I pride myself in making things and putting my own spin on things, and being a plus size girl,
Mhm.
there isn't a lot there for us quite yet. It's getting better. But because of those like limitations in society, really, it's kind of pushed me to make my own things. Um, and I would say like most of the time, like I'll buy shoes
Mhm.
and I'll like buy, like maybe a gloves or, wigs, like things that are like pre-made all the way done. I could just style later. But
Mhm.
for the most part, I make most of my cosplays, and then with closet cosplays, I'll just grab something out of my closet and maybe make one or two things, and boom, I have a cosplay.
Oh wow, okay. So like kind of going along with that, kind of staying true to like the authenticity of things. How far into character are you willing to go while in cosplay? Do you try and stay true to your authentic self or do you try to emulate the character a little bit?
Definitely the character. I would
Yeah.
absolutely say the character. Like Akuma, which I never expected to become as popular as it did. I'm always in character when I'm playing Akuma. I walk taller. I do menacing looks all the time. I definitely try to stay in character, and I feel more powerful that way too. So I definitely channel some of the character's energy
Mhm.
into me so I can present that well while I'm on the con floor or just, hanging out with people. I definitely do take the that off when I'm like eating and like seeing friends. All of a sudden you'll see Akuma run over and hug someone, and that's super out of character. Can't help it when I see my friends at cons and stuff like that.
Well, going along with that, do you think your cosplay gives you more of a confidence boost in your own natural beauty? Or do you just kind of like exude that kind of confidence naturally? Like, can you give any tips or advice to any other cosplayers who may resonate with your cosplay's messages of body positivity and self empowerment?
I'll say I was pretty blessed. I've always been a confident person,
Hmm.
but I will say my cosplay is like tenfolded for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a way for you to express with like a small wall in between like you and the person, and it kind of creates like kind of like an internal safe space for you when you're in your cosplay sometimes. And I would definitely recommend anyone who is looking into doing cosplay to like not worry about it being perfect or exactly like the character or video game or whatnot. If you love the character, just do it and have fun, and I guarantee you like it'll be worth it, and then you want to do more and more of it for sure.
Kind of going along with that, same uplifting message,
Mhm.
are you part of any like organizations or conventions, panels, or things related to uplifting other blurs or plus size cosplayers and their voices, platforms, or cosplays?
A few, I wouldn't say like any like major, like Fortune 500 companies or
Oh.
anything, but um, for example, 2019's New York Comic Con,
Mhm.
I hosted a panel called Plus Ultra while cosplaying. And it was basically to, highlight and share my experiences as well as my panelists'
Mhm.
experiences as cosplayers, as plus size women, with different backgrounds, ethnicities, creeds, and things of that nature. And I think it was really good, for people to see something that, people that look like them,
Yeah.
and showing that you can do it too. Like literally, there's nothing that can stop you, but you. So, when you see it and it's something you want to do it. I'm a firm believer of collecting experiences, so
Mhm.
you got to do it. I really believe that.
I love that. Like, honestly, I'd loved everything about it. The moment you mentioned Plus Ultra, I immediately thought of My Hero, and I was like,
Yes,
okay, is she doing like a play on words, like a pun with
yes.
that? Oh my god, 10 out of 10. Like, it's such a good message, and like the things that you're doing. Like, as somebody who is thick with 4CCs himself, like, I totally love seeing your cosplays because I'm always afraid that somebody's gonna come up to me and be like, well, you don't really look like this character. Like, you're bigger, or like I've literally been told this at like some conventions that sometimes like if I, like wear eyeliner or whatever, they'll be like, "Oh, you just look like a fat K-pop star." And I'm just like, I mean, rude, but thank you, I
Rude.
guess.
Yeah.
Like I mean, at least I look good, but
Right.
you
Exactly.
know, but it's just like, you know, I really like that you're kind of creating a space and you're making these impacts on a community that normally doesn't accept or acknowledge these two marginalized communities. And I just think that's amazing. So do you kind of like have like any things that you would like to see more of in the cosplay community, or like in future anime and gaming releases, like when it comes to like seeing representation in the media or in conventions and panels and things of that nature?
Oh man, yeah. I definitely want to mean I'll always want to see more melanated faces. No matter like what country you're from, I'll always want to see more melanated faces. Um, more marginalized groups, you have disability groups and all of those things too. Like I think everything should be more represented. I
Mhm.
think that we're like taking slow steps to get to that point. I always like to reference like Avatar or like Steven Universe as
Mm,
like really good like blueprints on how to have a little bit of everyone.
yeah.
represented in a show without making it feel like forced diversity or performative, you know, diversity or anything like that. And I also just think when more people get to see people that look like them on the screen, more people that look like them will come forward with new ideas, new, characters, new games, new anything. And I think we're headed towards that direction because representation, of course, matters,
Yeah.
and you're taught what to like from the beginning. So it's always a process of kind of unlearning that the real world looks like you,
Mhm.
and so you should represent it.
Oh wow. I mean, you're just nailing the like pins right here. Like I'm 100% I'm here for it. So like going along with this kind of like message, are there any things that kind of like irritate you about cosplaying as well? Like I know we talked a little bit about some of the stuff, but could you maybe expand on some of the things that might irritate you, whether that's either like sewing or fabric or just any aspect of it really that you just kind of find irritating?
Hmm. While I don't hate sewing at
Mhm.
all, I definitely, that is the area that I need the most improvement on, or the thing that I need the most work on, would be sewing. Sewing is definitely not an easy
Mhm.
task, especially after you get past straight lines.
Yeah.
Um, but thankfully, there are a lot of resources now these days that, a
Mhm.
lot of cosplayers make patterns that you can upsize now, and Joann's and all of that, they tend to seem to be making cosplays and things like that with patterns that can fit up to, your 20s, your 24s, size individuals, whether it be male, female, or in between.
Mhm.
And I think with that, you'll definitely start seeing some more, push through, but it's definitely irritating when you're done everything else and the last thing you got to do is sew, and it's like, man, I should have done the hard stuff first. So that's definitely a tip. Do the
Mhm.
hard stuff first. That way, when you are done with it, you're being rewarded with the things you enjoy the most about the cosplaying, whether it be painting or coming up with your makeup look or wig styling or anything like that. And of course the trolls. I mean, there's trolls in every community you're gonna be in. Um, I don't let them bother me too much. I'm human, so occasionally, of course, they do,
Yeah.
but I definitely do use that as fuel to continue doing what I'm doing, because
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, you're using your energy to tell me something, and I
Right.
didn't even ask for it. So thank you for the energy. Thank you for help.
Thank you,
Thanks.
next.
Thank
Literally,
you. Next.
yeah.
Exactly.
Just
Exactly.
keep upping your game and upping your level and just, sometimes it kind of maybe fuels you and inspires you to maybe like say, okay, well, if you're mad about this, that means three other people are out here loving what I'm doing and they're probably being inspired the same way I'm being inspired by other people.
Exactly. And I mean, most of the
Mhm.
time, those people are jealous. And if you just think about them as jealous beings, it'll help you move on, like to do the things that you want to do.
Yes. So, going along with this, is there like a favorite part of putting on your cosplay?
Man, definitely when I walk on the con floor, I think. I think
Mm,
once I step on the floor and then I'm whoever I am for the time being, whatever character I'm playing, that's like my favorite moment. Like once I get on the floor, get to see all the other people, still, engage in the con as fun in general. And then, other people who've interacted with my work, I get to meet them. And I love meeting the people that, support me and are just my friends online that I don't get to see. And I definitely miss cons for that.
yeah. Well, I definitely seen like a little bit of footage from your floor work. Hold on, like Miss Tyra Banks is quaking. You literally stunt when you walk, and it doesn't matter what cosplay you're wearing. You just exude so much confidence, like so much. It's just like it's very like yes, 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 I'm here. My presence is known. Thank you. And I literally like hear people in the background like, "Oh my god." Like, yes, okay, work. Like, it's literally when you walk. out with your cosplay. It is a noticeable shift in tone, and I love that. And just to hear you say that that's your favorite part, it gives me so much joy. Because it's not only like just you walking out there, you're also engaging with the community that's in there. And
Yeah.
you don't hear that from a lot of cosplayers. Like for a lot of them, it's just kind of like, I just wanted to do this because it was fun. For you,
Mhm.
it's because I want to do this because I want to connect with other people and I
Yeah.
like it, so I want to share it.
That yes, 100%. I love meeting the people that I interact with online. Like it's great because you never know who's looking, right? And you never know who you might inspire just being you. So I've learned to, shine and not let anyone else try to dim me because
Yeah.
there's other people who need that as much as I do.
So, well, speaking of letting others shine and kind of, having like an inspiration for things, do you have any favorite cosplayers, or do you look up to anyone in the cosplay community for inspiration or for future cosplays?
Hmm. I definitely have my like go-to ride or die favorite cosplayers. Sinvon Quinzel, she's an amazing cosplayer. Another plus size cosplayer, and her sewing work is chef's kiss.
Oh,
So
really?
impeccable, so good. Because you know, I like I said, I like community and creating experiences. And I put on a cos gala, which is a cosplay gala, a couple years ago,
Mm.
and it was to highlight, Black POC, you know, uh, individuals, LGBTQ, and
Just everybody
disabled.
from the community that felt marginalized.
Everyone in the community
Yeah.
that felt marginalized, and
Mhm.
I wanted us to have something to be connect with a little bit something fancy because I've always been a little bougie bitch in the heart. Um,
Yes.
in the hearts of hearts.
Mm.
But yeah, so like I had the opportunity to go to the Venetian Carnival in Venice.
Ooh.
So I've been inspired to do masquerades ever since, and that's kind of the theme of my galas are masquerades. So it was a really great time, and a lot of people met because of that event and work together now and network together now, of all different POC backgrounds, and I love facilitating things like that. So I can't wait till this Rona is over so I can hold more events.
Girl, we're all waiting for this Panda Express to be done, but
Yes.
I am like living. You literally have like the mind of a mastermind. So not only do you like sharing your cosplay with others, you're literally creating connections and making space and just a community all on your own. Like you're out here doing your thing and just doing it because you love it. And you're out here just really like creating a whole thing. Like this is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So like do you like have like any like I don't know, like favorite um like moments that you've had come out of that? Like have you made any like memorable friendships, or have you had anybody like um kind of come up to you and say thank you so much for like making this happen because I wouldn't have met XYZ, or I wouldn't have been inspired to do ABC.
Yeah. Oh man. So yes, absolutely. Let me see. I definitely think whenever someone has ever come up to me and said thank you for doing something, it's such a
Mhm.
weird experience. It's great, but it's weird at the same time because I don't look at myself like that, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like I don't look at myself as someone I guess to look up to. I'm just doing me. So I don't think about it in that way.
Mhm.
So whenever someone does say that, I inspire them, I try to do my best to keep them inspired
Mhm.
and honestly just try to respond to them. Everybody is busy and doing something, but sometimes you just need someone to tell you that you can do it. And I understand that verbal, validation, even if it's from a complete stranger, to help push you into doing the things that you were meant to do or you want to do.
Mhm.
Um, and let's see, favorite moments. I've had so many great moments in my cosplay. I've had so many great moments. Oh man. So I'll give you two.
Okay.
The first was New York City Comic Con. Again, it's one of my favorite conventions because I have a lot of friends in New York through cosplay. And I was in a Walking Dead panel. This was a few years ago. And I was way, 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 way in the back. But one of the staff members noticed my cosplay and moved me from the back to VIP. So I went from the back of the room to the front of the room. And the entire like Walking Dead panel was there. And I was like, it's so great. You know, I yelled out because I was a fan. I was like, yes, it's so great to see you guys. And clap, clap, clap. And Norman Reedus, Daryl,
Yeah.
saw me and he was like, hey, cutie. And I died inside.
No way.
I died inside. So that was like one of my first like major experiences. And then my second one,
Mm-hmm.
my friend, she was standing in line for Jason Momoa for
Mm-hmm.
after Aquaman. And I was like, man, I don't have those De Niro's to get that picture this time, but I'll stand in line with you. And so we're waiting in line, and then all of a sudden, the door, like against the wall on the right, opens, and like Jason Momoa is there. And we're like, wait a minute, aren't you supposed to be behind the curtains, like waiting for us to like come and get our pictures taken? I guess he had to like go do something really quick.
Okay.
But when he left out, we all were waving and saying hi. And he came over to me specifically, like grabbed my hand and was like, thank you so much for coming. And I remember you. He remembered me from a previous con.
What?
Yeah. And I was dressed up as a casual Raven from Teen Titans.
Oh,
And he only said that to me and he walked away. Like he didn't say that to anybody else. And I was like, wait a minute. Did I just get remembered by Jason Momoa?
girl, Lisa Bonet is shaking. Yes. Oh my God. You've literally like you've experienced it all at cons. Like not only are you like a marketing and like networking genius, you're literally out here meeting celebrities like, "Hi, hello. My name is Tranquil. Yes. Yes. That is going to be your next ex-husband. Jason Momoa. That's my man's."
I mean, if only he smells so good. I know that's so random, but like amazingly, he smells great.
Oh, girl, I'm the same way. Anytime a man smells good, I'm like,
Yes.
let me breathe that in one more time. Come closer. It's my
Exactly.
weakness. That's my kryptonite.
Yes. Not a disappointment. Not a disappointment.
No. Well, going along with kind of the good kind of like stories from cons, what is kind of like your worst cosplay horror story?
Let's see. Thankfully, I haven't had
Mhm.
too many. I think a lot of the times, and which is interesting, I think my characters play a large role into why that is. Because I'm 5'8", you know, already I'm a taller girl. And because I play like really menacing like cosplays, I feel like people tend to like back off if they see me
Really?
like at a con, like they won't come at me any kind of way. But I would say most of like the vitriol I get is definitely online, you know, keyboard warriors and things like that. My catcher cosplay, for example, I had posted a picture. It ended up going like pretty viral in the sense of like all the negative aspects that I was getting on it. Like an article was written about and everything about like how much negative attention my catcher was getting. Yeah, I was getting told you should die. You actually ate Ketra, like all of those things. It was
Hello?
really ridiculous. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad, and I was like, why of all cosplays is the Ketra one the one catching the most flack? But
Right.
yeah, I mean I couldn't tell you, but every time I've ever posted that one, that for some reason garners the most hate. Like they just
Mhm.
can't see me as Ketra, I guess.
Mhm.
But yeah, like being told to die is definitely probably one of the worst things I've been told to, you know, in terms of cosplaying, or that I eat my characters because I'm not the same size as they are in the video game or anime. And, it's just, those people are people who are crying out for attention
Right.
and they're missing something in their own lives, so they have to project it on you. So I just try to remember that when things get told to me in that nature, or someone is saying something completely outrageous about what I'm doing. But you know I'm human, like I said, and so like occasionally that gets me a little bit down because it's like I put a lot of work into it, and anything that you put a lot of work into, you want it to be noticed and validated. And so when it's not, you do feel some type of way. But like I said, I try to use that and to shift it and use that energy to build more, to do more cosplays, makeups, photo shoots, whatever, and that's how I just, navigate those types of situations.
Girl, you're making me cry. Like,
Oh,
I'm literally about to cry my eyelashes out. Hold on.
don't cry.
It's nobody should be saying that to you, honestly. And like, it doesn't matter what body type you have. You're literally just sharing your interpretation of that character, or of that comic book. Like, it's not that deep. It's really not that deep. And the fact that literally people will like come at you with death threats, or that
Yeah.
people will literally just like say that you like ate this character, like that is unacceptable to me. And I just you have so much strength and willpower to kind of just take that negative energy and turn it into something positive that keeps inspiring others like myself. Like, keep doing what you're doing, Tranquil. Like, you are stunting on these hoes, okay? Like, you are doing what you were meant to do on this earth, and that is to inspire others through your cosplay. And I just, from the bottom of my heart, my little gay heart, thank you.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
you are literally like a beacon of hope for plus size and Black cosplayers. Like, you are the epitome of trying to just bring it together and just say, hey, I'm here and we're valid, period.
Yes. And I will fight tooth and nail for you. Like, whoever you are, I will fight for you.
Girl,
I
I'll get in
am
there too. Let's go. I'll take these lashes off.
I'm right. I will fight for you. I really will.
Uh,
When I don't see something, like when I see
mm,
things like that, I can't help it. Like, for example, Colossal Con had like a big thing going on for a while in terms of their representation
yeah.
in people of color and plus size, and I got really upset about it, and I decided to do a whole meetup randomly, and I got pizza and everything for all the brown people at that
Mm.
con. And we took pictures and listened to music in the middle of the front lobby for 30 minutes just to tell people, hey, we are here and you wouldn't have this without us. So I will fight. I'm all about it.
You're not afraid to turn on the little inner Bakugo you have to just kind of like let
Exactly.
it out.
Exactly. If you want, feel free to hit me up on Facebook or anything like that.
I definitely will.
Okay.
You opened that box, so
Please do.
okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you again so much for being here.
Bye.
Bye.
So, interestingly enough, before we found out Kevin Sorbo is not a great person, yeah, there's been some things.